Some of the world's leading scientists say the oceans are getting sicker far more quickly than previously thought. In a new report, they warn a toxic mix of pollution, overfishing, and other man-made factors add up to the most serious threat to sea life in millions of years, and that could have devastating consequences, they say, for the rest of us. CBS News correspondent John Blackstone has more.
The vastness of the Earth's oceans may be matched only by the scale of the problems they face. A mass extinction of species not seen since the dinosaurs disappeared 65 million years ago, says the report to the United Nations. That doesn't surprise Mel Wycliffe, who's been in the commercial fishing business for 48 years.
If humans were given their free hand, they'd wipe everything out, you know.
The report blames industrial fishing for scraping the ocean nearly clean of some species and growing carbon dioxide emissions from the world's cars and factories, making oceans acidic, creating dead zones. At San Francisco's aquarium by the bay, marine biologist Christina Slager is surrounded by fish.
You see leopard sharks over there.
But worries the worst-case scenario in today's report could leave the oceans barren.
When hundreds of thousands of species go extinct, the quality of life and the beauty of the planet is irrevocably changed.
But the scientists also say it's not too late. And Mel Wycliffe says he's already seen that changes can work, like banning the pesticide DDT.
When I first started in '63, DDT was a big effect on Monterey Bay. There wasn't any sardines. Now there's a viable fishery in Monterey Bay for sardines.
Was there ever a time that you thought this industry isn't going to be here?
Every year. Every year, every week. We joke that there's no future in fishing, but you know, here we are.
But the report to the United Nations warns that the oceans do have their limits, and we may now be within a generation of reaching those limits. John Blackstone, CBS News, San Francisco.
And joining us now is Michael Hirshfield. He's Senior Vice President, North American Oceans, and Chief Scientist for Oceana, which is an advocacy group for protecting ocean wildlife. Good to have you with us. That report says we're at a high risk for entering a phase of mass extinction, as we heard, possibly within a generation. How viable is that, do you think?
I think we're really facing a very, very serious threat. What's alarming about this report is the fact that the whole of all of these threats is much worse than the sum of their parts. And it's happening a lot faster than we thought. Oceans are adaptable, species are adaptable, but you throw too much at them too fast, and we could be in a lot of trouble.
Walk us through the major threats here to ocean life.
Well, the triple threat that we've known about for a while is overfishing, destructive fishing, where we take too much from the oceans and we destroy the species' habitats. Pollution, things like too much plastic, too much fertilizer and humid waste. And then finally, climate change, which is both heating the oceans and making them more acidic.
When you talk about climate change, because this is obviously always a hot topic of debate when it comes to what exactly is climate change, how much we're seeing of it, how specifically does it affect the ocean? Is it just the rise a few degrees or the drop a few degrees here, or is it more specific?
We'll take things like coral reefs. Coral reefs are a lot like people. An increase in temperature of maybe a degree or two, that's not really a big deal. You triple the number of 110-degree days, and that's what kills people, and that's what's killing the coral reefs. Extreme hot events are becoming more frequent, and they're becoming hotter. So that's a big stress for coral reefs.
Can any of these threats at this point be reversed?
Absolutely. It's not too late. We're already beginning to see some of the nations of the world take overfishing seriously. We're working to reduce sewage and fertilizer runoff. Climate change is the one where we really need to get to work fast, because as the report says, we may only have a generation before we see this unprecedented extinction.
You mentioned some countries are taking overfishing into account, but if you're sitting at home and even reading through this morning, I'm thinking, you know, I really like to eat fish. It's supposed to be good for you. It's healthy. We tell you all the time. Should we, though, stop eating fish?
No, that's not what groups like Oceana advocate. We think that eating moderately, eating carefully, and most importantly, telling your government that you want to eat safe, sustainable seafood, that's what people can do with respect to overfishing.
Michael Hirshfield, great to have your expertise. Thanks for being with us this morning.